How's it going, folks? So, this year alone, three people have already asked me questions about purchasing a firearm for personal protection. And there's one thing that all three of them have had with them that is inspired this educational talk that I want to give. And that is that when you're talking about firearms, namely for personal protection, this is not something you should just cheap out on, so to speak. You need to be willing to spend a certain amount of money to get something that is reliable and will do the job that you need it to do. Because let's face facts, even though with personal protection, it's very low odds that you'll even have to draw your firearm for self defense. However, if you do have to actually draw it and discharge it in self defense, the results of something going wrong with it are potentially catastrophic. The only reason you should be drawing a firearm is to protect life, limb, or eyesight, basically. And that means life, limb, or eyesight, to be Mr. Captain Obvious redundant, yada, yada, yada. Um, so this is not something you want to skimp on. Now, I'm not expecting anybody who just wants a firearm for personal protection to put $4,000 and do a build. Yes, I put $4,000 into this build, but guess what? I'm also really into firearms, and I know not everybody is. I also understand that not everyone has $4,000 to spend on something they like either. And I'm not super rich either. So, but this is a hobby that means a lot to me, among other things. So, I don't expect you to obviously spend $4,000 on your personal protection firearm, but two or three hundred is also like something that's unrealistic. If you want something that's going to be up to par for personal protection, um, this G17 is Generation 5. Obviously, it's secondhand, which they're going to become more of them in the future that become secondhand, obviously, because people really want to get the latest generation of Glock and might sell one of their older generations just to have something newer. That part is true, but this one is almost new when I bought it secondhand, and I spent $550 on it. And in this area, if you want a brand new Generation 5 G17, you're probably going to be spending about $700 on it. This actually does the job very well, especially given the price. You know, that's for handguns. For shotguns, I spent about $400 on this Maverick 88. Uh, but again, it can do the job very well. You know, there are AR-15s. Now, honestly, I would not be buying the $500 AR-15s or the $500 AR-15s to protect your home or your family members. I would probably recommend you do a little bit more research and get something that you're spending probably at least seven, eight, nine, even $1,000 on or more for. But again, the all this stuff you get what you pay for, and if you're not willing to spend a certain amount on it, you're not going to get the quality. that you need for something you're relying on to protect your life. You know, you're talking about a life or death situation when you're talking about personal protection, or at least you should be. You know, obviously, if you're just resolving a spat with your neighbor and you're pulling out a gun on them, when this is not a life or death situation, you are in the wrong at that point. But yeah, if you're dealing with, say, a home invader, yeah, that's a different story. That's a life or death situation. Or if your neighbor's just an absolute psychopath and they're trying to kill you, that's a different situation. That's life or death. And that is where you'd be using a firearm to protect yourself. So, yeah, and it's not something, again, you need to be trying to cut costs on. One of the first things you should do when you're considering buying a firearm for personal protection is start putting money in that savings account. And if you don't have a savings account, what are you doing? You should be putting at least some money back because emergencies happen, and it's not just needing a firearm, but, you know, you might have something come up, some unexpected expense come up that you need money to pay for. But obviously, that's a little bit of extra advice in this. The other pet peeve that I have, and a couple people have done this to me over my entire life. Yeah, well, maybe not my entire life, but my entire period of collecting guns. Is they'll ask me, well, you have a gun you can sell, and then they don't want to spend any more than like $200 or $300 for it. And this is annoying for two reasons. First off, I probably spent more on the firearm than just 200 or $300 that you want. That's number one. But number two is the reason why I bought the firearm is I wanted the firearm for myself. You know, so I mean, yeah, you can go up and ask your friend or the person you know who has a bunch of guns if they're willing to part with any of them. But then you might want to, obviously be prepared to pay a little bit more than you think that you're going to get away with paying. You know, and honestly, asking if I'm willing to part for any of my with any of my guns for like $200 or $300 is pretty insulting to me. You know, but yeah, that's that little tidbit of advice there. So, with that being said, the other thing I wanted to bring up, and again, I don't like bringing politics into educational videos, but unfortunately, this topic, there is a tribe that has made it very political, and it's not my tribe, so to speak. But yeah, if you wanted guns to have at least some reduced cost, you probably should not have voted Democrat. And I bring this up because I know at least one of the people who was asking me if I could part with a gun for cheap votes Democrat. And it's like, why would you do that if you wanted a cheap gun anyway? I can understand if you were willing to spend $1,000 on something like this, just to spend $1,000 on it and then vote Democrat. But honestly, if you're voting Democrat, you are driving the prices of firearms up. Just FYI. And there are some Republicans that are not much better, or maybe just a step or two above Democrats on that topic. But for the most part, it's the Democrat Party platform is for more gun control, increasing taxes on firearms, things of that nature. So I'm going to drop the political rant right here. And actually, I'm going to wrap up this video right here with this. Guys, you have the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you think I've said something in this video that needs to be shared, go ahead and share the video. Get the message out, you know? Thank you all for watching. Y'all take her easy out there and have a great day.